What is going on, everybody? RKG here with my review of Destiny 1.5, Destiny 2. First and foremost, I know I shouldn't have to say this in every single review or video I make, but this is strictly my own opinion. You may think differently, and that is perfectly okay. But understand it's okay for others to not have the same thought as you. This is just based on my experience with the game and how I personally feel about the game. Now, with that said, let's get started. Destiny 2 starts off with the Cabal basically showing their muscle. Now, no screwing around, they straight up attack the tower, shut down the Traveler, and eliminating any chance of the Guardians fighting back, and just straight up wrecking humanity. Your Guardian comes back to the tower in ruins. The last hope for humanity crumbled. This is where your journey of revenge or redemption begins. And this is also where Bungie listened to fans. One of the biggest beats people had with the first Destiny game was the lack of a good story, the lack of cohesion in the story, the lack of interesting like story arcs. Well, Destiny 2 has a really good story with very good cinematics as well as very good interesting characters. Now, this isn't without flaw though. After attempting to take back the tower, you are left stranded, half dead, and without light. This is where Bungie missed a good opportunity. There should have been like a few missions where you don't have your light. You're playing the game without it. Instead, you basically get your light back a minute after losing it. Like, yeah, there's like a little small section before you meet Hawthorne where you don't have your light and you're fighting, some Cabal, but they should have expanded that and give you like full-fledged missions where you don't have your light instead of just giving it back to you immediately. As well, even though the story is good and the cinematics are good, even the Cabal characters are also really good. In the first Destiny game, when it came to like the beginning of the game before Taken King came out, the enemies were kind of just boring and lackluster. They didn't have any kind of story to them. Like, you didn't hear, the bosses talk. It was just there. You didn't get to hear about Atheon. You just fought Atheon. But when it came to the Cabal in this game, you know who Gaul is. However, the story is super easy, way easier than the first game. You'll finish the game story in about 5 to 6 hours with no trouble. If you die, it's probably because you fucked up a jump and you had a bad landing. Not enemies killing you because the enemies are just kind of dumb. The AI sucks. They'll often run right into your bullets, into your melees, into your alts. They're not a good AI, and they're not smart AI. But regardless of that, the story is good. But going back to the Cabal characters, the leader of the Red Army, or Red Legion as they call it, that is at Earth, is the Cabal Dominus, whom is the highest ranking member of the Cabal military, Gaul. I've said this a few times to my friends when it comes to Gaul and the Cabal, center cutscenes. I got nothing but a Democules feeling when it came to Gaul and the Cabal Red Legion. Now, if you don't know about Democules, I recommend reading up on him and what it is. It's more so a saying, the sword of Democules. Hey, if you don't want to read but play a video game, you can play Rise of the Son of Rome. You'll get a good example of it as it's the main, arc in that game. Anyways, after you do either of those, replay the game, you'll understand what I'm saying when it comes to referring Gaul to Democules. Overall, as I said, it's a very good story. From beginning to end, I enjoyed it. There wasn't a single story mission I didn't enjoy playing. It had different varieties. It was very engaging, very immersive too when it came to like how the characters were. Bungie did a great job in this aspect, and kudos to them for listening to the fans and feedback when it came to us complaining about the lack of story in the first game. Like I said, they even gave all the characters personality, which is also something that the first game lacked. Ikora's, Zavala, Cade, Failsafe, Asher, Galtest, and so on and so on and so on. All have personality that elevates them in this game. I can't wait to see what the faction leaders are going to be like, what Eris is going to be like, what the Queen's going to be like, what Petra's going to be like, and the Queen's little bitch brother is going to be like. When the future expansions come out, it comes out like Osiris, and how even better Rasputin's going to be when it comes to giving him more personality. So there's so many things that can be good with the future of this game's story. As for the game's visuals, the graphics are the same as the first game. Nothing really visually different. Some better textures here and there, but that's about it. Whether that's a negative, it's up in the air. It depends on like if you think a game like this should, be a more graphically appealing game or not. That's just all strictly based on like how your personal when it comes to visuals and graphics. Destiny has always had a good atmosphere in terms of the game's beauty and its landscape. So if you like that in the first game, visuals of the second game will also be appealing to you. When it comes to combat, it's the same as the first game. They didn't reinvent the wheel here, and they didn't need to. Destiny 1 had a great combat system and very good gunplay. It was one of those things keeping a lot of people playing the first game. Destiny 2 is no different. Combat is great, gunplay is good. The changes they did make, like, auto mantling is a good addition. The changes they made to weapons in terms of kinetic energy and power are understandable for balancing purposes. And, it's not a bad thing. I'm already used to it. Now, some people might, think it's dumb, but I'm used to it. I think it's okay. It's not a bad thing. But at the same time, the changes they made to upgrading weapons and armor is horrible. Before in the first game, you could dismantle any primary into the other or any heavy into the other. Now you can only dismantle a hand cannon into a hand cannon or a shotgun into a shotgun, a pulse rifle to a pulse rifle, etc., etc., etc. This sucks when you have high-level weapons that you don't want to use and a weapon that you do like using, but you can't dismantle the end to that. And say that you have a really good shotgun that you want to use, but it's only 280 light and you got like a sword that's 300 light. You can't put that sword into the shotgun because for whatever reason they decided that's a bad idea. In the first game, you just put that high level weapon in right into that low level weapon that you like. Now you just can't, and it's a weird thing that they decided to do is regression. Like when it comes to video games, you don't want to see regression in a sequel, and this is something that they regressed in. The same thing goes for armor. You can't dismantle a hunter helmet into a warlock helmet to make that helmet better. Now, this to me is a huge negative, and again, it's regression on upgrading and leveling. Bungie fucked up when it came to this change. As for multiplayer, this is also a negative area for Bungie. They regressed here as well. They limited what you can do with Crucible. You can't just select any game mode that you want to play and play it. You have to play you have to play quick player competitive, which is going to give you a random map type that you might even want to play. What if I just want to play Control? I should be able to just go to Crucible, click on Control, and play Control. What if I just want to play Clash? I should be able to go to Crucible, go to Clash, and play Clash. But that's not how this works. There's two playlists, competitive and quick play, as I said before. You queue for those, they give you a random game mode. You can't vote on which one you want to play. It's just a random game mode that you have no choice on and picking. Forcing us to play game types we don't want to play ruins our experience. Why take away the option to pick a game mode separately? I don't understand why they took that out. What in their head said, hey, let's eliminate the option for our players to select a game mode for them to play and just force them to play, these game modes. I don't care about Supremacy, so why the hell should I have to be forced to play it? I just want to play Control or Clash, and that's it. Another flaw is Crucible is basically not playable for solo players. 99% of the time when you queue for Crucible, you'll be facing a full clan or two separate clans. Whereas in Destiny 1, the game prioritizes finding you a balanced match. If you're playing in a full squad, it puts you up against a full squad. If you are solo queuing, it puts you up against other players who are also playing solo. Crucible is also far from balanced. I said it before in a previous video that a lot of people keep saying that this is the most balanced Destiny has ever been for Crucible. It's not. Titans and Warlocks dominate as they have so many abilities that just are better options for Crucible. Making them the less skill required characters, with Titans being, just entirely not skill required at all. Everyone runs around with Titans, they have no skill, they just literally just fist the panic repeatedly and throwing up your shields. Warlocks that aren't Healing Rift. Warlocks take more skill now than they did in the first Destiny game, but even still, there's no reason to not play either one of these classes because they're so overpowering when it comes to the Crucible. As well, weapons are also not balanced in this game. All rifles dominate the game, as well as the Mighty Multi-Tool, which is highly unbalanced exotic weapon. These are guns that can entirely dictate match. You're not gonna see pulse rifles or sidearms. You're only gonna see the Mida and auto rifles. The Mighty Multi-Tool is. I love this gun in Destiny 1, but in Destiny 2, it is insanely overused and overpowered. You need to do something to tone it down, and it probably will. This is not going to be a video for that though. So moving on, I made a video before about the balancing when it came to Destiny. Now a link to it will be in the description box below and on your screen at the end of this video. At its core, Crucible is fun. Just needs to have some balancing things retweaked and things like that, and it'll be very enjoyable when it comes to everything. You can be a solo player and have fun. You can use certain guns and be effective. But as it stands right now, if you're not using Mighty Multi-Tool or auto rifle, you're just playing it wrong. If you're not playing with Titan Warlock, you're just hurting yourself. Last but not least is the raid. Simply put, the raid is bad. It's the worst raid Bungie has come up with, and I think the problem is they try too hard to be elaborate with it, and they try too hard to be clever and cheeky. They forgot how to add fun to the raid. It's simply just not a fun raid. The raid is a chore that you force yourself to do because you have to beat it to complete a milestone. You have to do it to finish the quest line for an exotic weapon. You have to do it just to simply say, yeah, I did the raid. The raid in this game is inconvenient. Everything about it is an inconvenience. You don't even get your loot the same way you did in the first game, where at each section you'll get loot, then have to find a chest and get even more loot. No, now you get tokens to use only when you beat the raid to get raid loot. Once more, this is an inconvenience. You can't, get a piece of loot per, sector of the raid. You have to beat the entire raid, collect all these tokens, and then only then can you actually get raid gear. And that's just a dumb way that they decided to do that. In the first game, as I said, each section rewarded you with loot. This made the grind and trouble we went through worth it. Beating the Templar and getting weapons or a Fatebringer. Beating Atheon and getting a class item or the Vex Mythic class. It rewarded you for each section of the game. Leviathan Raid, beat a section, get tokens. That's not a reward. Like, it doesn't it doesn't make us feel good about the struggle we went through if all we see on our screen after beating it is, here's some tokens. Overall, this game is what a lot of people have been calling it. Destiny 1.5, an expansion to the first game more so than a sequel. It corrected some of the flaws of the first game, but also added some flaws through questionable mechanics like, one-time shaders, which I won't get into for my own sanity. But there is something here when it comes to Destiny. There's a lot here when it comes to Destiny. This is a fun game. I have one of each class, all of which are 280 or higher. I like this game. It's a really enjoyable game. And this is still a new game, so there's a lot that can change between now and the next expansion. The problem I have with this game could be fixed in the coming months when it comes to, the next DLC in October, the DLC after that. Then there's going to be more throughout the lifespan of this game. So this game is going to evolve and going to be different from day one to the end of the game cycle. Destiny is a game that will go through a lot of changes, as all games do. The first game is not the same game as it was when first released, and I keep telling people that this game is not going to be the same game it will be in 2 years. Destiny is going to evolve. This is even though it's a shooter, it's still technically an MMO. And MMOs, they always evolve. Every time this game comes out with a patch, new things are going to happen. So this game can evolve in some different ways. Today, this review can be, not very good, but in 2 months, I can come back and say, okay, the game has improved, and this is where I improved that compared to my review, and this is what the score is now based on it. That's why I'm calling this a review in progress and not just an actual review. So expect this game, to change a lot. Don't be surprised to see people talking about how Destiny sucked at the beginning, but now it's great. My score for Destiny 2 is a 6 out of 10 for now. In a few months, we'll revisit this review and see if my score changes over the course of the game's life cycle. But as of now, 6 out of 10. Also, I recommend checking out 2 really good videos. One is a review by Angry Joe, whom does a good job with his review on the game. As well, there's a video that gives you 15 things that hardcore Destiny players hate about Destiny. Both of those will be linked so go ahead and check those out after this video is done. Watch them, like them, all that good stuff. And in the future video, I will be talking about things that I really don't like about Destiny, and then another video about things that I really like about Destiny. So there's gonna be a lot of Destiny on this channel, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. But with all that said, that's it for this review. Probably the longest review I've done in a long time, if ever. Anyways, I've been Archangel, the real underscore talent on YouTube. Hope you all have enjoyed this video. Leave any thoughts you have in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Do check out the description box below for links to other videos as well as a way to help support the channel. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.